Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs and welcome back to another Rate the Transfer Rumour video. That's right, this is the show that rates the transfer rumour, and as usual, Daz is the man that's going to rate the transfer rumours today. What's the story, Daz?
Hi Keith, how's it going?
Good stuff, good stuff. Obviously now we're going to rate it between 1 and 10. So 10 is highly likely and number 1 is clearly highly unlikely. So let's get going, and you might like this one. This is an interesting one. Sean Gannon. Shamrock Rovers to Bohemians. I'll say no more. Talk about it.
You're not the first man now that's brought this up to me. A number of people from both sides has talked to me about it and has said, you know, about a month ago, someone said to me, Gannon's been linked with it. I was like, yeah, good one. But it seems to be cropping up everywhere now. And over the last week or two, there's been a lot of talk about it. And Bows have made a lot of signs in the last week, which is really, really positive and good to see. And hopefully we can keep it going. There is money there to spend, and I've already let 2 players go out on loan. Finity's gone and Mallon's gone out on loan. I think that wage is freed up. So I actually would put this lightly. I'd put this at a 7. I think just the amount of talk it's about with Bows need a right back. We definitely need defenders anyway. Like playing a centre back, left back, and playing a right back, left back, and a midfield, a right back, centre back. Do you know, we've been doing this the last month and we've conceded lots of goals. Gannon would be a class sign for us. He'd be really, really top sign for us if we could pull it off. And I think he'd like to come to Bones. He'd get game time. He'd be a star player. And I just would welcome him with open arms. I really hope it happens. And if I'm going to put it lightly, I'm not going to put it like it's going to happen, but I am going to put it at 7. I think it's more likely to happen than not happen, in my view, with everything I've seen so far.
Interesting stuff. You put me off completely there. I thought you go the other way. I'm not going to lie.
No.
Yeah, with Sean Gannon, though, I suppose the question for me is a couple of questions, actually. Question 1 would be, would Bradley be willing to let him go at this stage of the season? Obviously, with Europe coming up as well. He mightn't get the team every week, but he does play. You know what I mean? He's in and out more so. Also, would Gannon be willing to go back to training in the evenings, essentially? That's the question too, I think.
I think though as well, it's money as well. Like he's obviously on quite a good wage over Rovers. Are we going to be able to match that or make it as good or better? I don't know, and I think that's going to be a big player in the decision. I do know both are interested in bringing in a player from the UK. That didn't come off because they told this player that he was going to have to train a few times a week, stay up in Dublin. They're going to pay a hotel, but go put it on the whole. They got someone else they're talking to. So. That was a bit of a mad one, but they are actively looking for players. And I would say they have inquired about them. So I really hope we can pull this one off. I definitely think there's something in it. So I really hope he comes here. As I said, I think he'd be a star player for us. I think he'd be really, really good.
So you've gone 7 out of 10. Be interested to see what people think of the comments about that one as well. Now, on the flip side, Liam Burt to Shamrock Rovers. What do you make of that one?
No, don't talk to me about that one, Keith. No. I know, all jokes aside, I think, look, Burt has been linked with a move to Rovers. I think that's no secret. I think Rovers have officially inquired about him, but it's not released. I think that has happened. I think there is discussions going on behind the scenes, but I don't think Burt will go. I think, Burt is loved by the club. All the fans adore him. They really like him. He is one of our better players. He's a really good attacking player, and he's improving every week. I think he's someone we need to try and hold on to because we're not going to be able to replace him with a like-for-like player, in my opinion. I don't see us going out and paying money to put in a player that's going to be as good. That's just not going to happen, and we need to hold on to our better players. Like people saying Keith Long's being backed by the board and 7-figure sums being thrown around. Yes, there is, but they're not keeping the actual good players. They're bringing in players who aren't as good. Therefore, in my opinion, he's not being entirely backed because if a team come in for Burt in the same league, put our over second in the same league, and Burt's like, I want to go up because they're paying more. Both should be matching the money and giving them choice to stay. I think that'd be backing them, in my opinion. That's where Keith Long's not being backed, but to not go off too much topic. I think this one, Keith, it's less than 50-50 of me. I put it at 4. Look, I think there is something in it, but I don't think Burt will go halfway through the season. He's very much like that, Buzz. He's playing every week. I can't see him playing every week at Rovers. He'll be a squad player. For his point of his career, he's better off staying at Buzz, developing and playing, and maybe looking next season if he wants to go. So I don't think it will happen, but I do think there's something there. So I'm going to put it at 4.
The only thing I think from a Shamrock Rovers, the flip point of view, is that obviously Mandrew's on his way for sure now to Lincoln City. So that shows a little, I don't know if it throws a spanner in the works, but it opens up a gap for a Lean Burt type player to come in. So I've no doubt they're going to be actively looking for a Mandrew replacement, that's for sure, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But then again, Keith, like you said, look, you're not going to replace Danny Mandrew in this league. Unless you go abroad and bring in someone who questionably might do as well. He's obviously a top player in this league. I hate to say it, but he is. Look, black and white, I've seen him play. He's a class player on his day. He's amazing. He can do things most other players in this league can't do. He's a standout player, and I think he will be an Ireland international in the future if he keeps going the way he's going and changes his attitude maybe a little bit. But there is a slot open up for him, and look, I think if you're going to replace him like for like, you probably would go after someone like Burt. You're realistically going to get him. You will get him, and he can do a lot of the things Mandrew does do, and he has a little bit more about him. I think he's a bit faster than Mandrew and stuff like that. He's a slightly different player, but there is a gap being opened up. It's not like Burt's coming into a team if he was to move where Danny Mandrew's there. Danny Mandrew's going to start every game. If that's gone now, that's out of the equation. There is a gap opened up, and I'm sure that'll be in the discussions held with him. Should they be having discussions with him?
Yeah. So you went for 4 out of 10 on this one anyway. So Adam O'Reilly, when I say St. Patrick's Athletic to Como, he's obviously a loan at St. Patrick's Athletic from Preston North End. Now, I believe the loan ends on July 31st rather, and he has a year left on his contract at Preston. Como, obviously, team in Italy, have taken Kerrigan recently. Mark Bircham is involved now with Como. I believe he's a coach or certainly part of the management team per se. And Mark Bircham would have recognised him from Waterford as well. Now, I don't think he'd crossed paths too long. Someone at Waterford might be able to tell me that for sure, but I think they might have just crossed paths just about. Adam has been unbelievable, I have to say, for Pats this season, and it'd be a massive loss. And this is where the loan thing can wreck you a little bit as well. But how do you see that link with Como in Italy? It's an interesting one again, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant that some of our players are looking further afield. Like, they're not looking at England as the be-all and all. It's brilliant to see some of our players going out foreign, and I welcome it. With the way Stephen Kenny is changing the team, you're not looking for your big, tall strikers or your big, tall players anymore. You're looking for technically gifted players that can play with speed, agile on the ball on the ground. And going out to these leagues is different to play that way. But very interesting move for him, Keith. I think, I wouldn't be an expert in Italian football by any means of measure, but I think it's, we all know the Italians are very technical with how they play. A lot like Spanish and how they play, in the sense of slow, technical, work the ball into the box, pass it on the ground. O'Reilly gives you all that. I think he's a really, really good talent, a really, really good player. I seen him play before when he was 16. He was over at Preston, and I was very impressed with him. I thought he was way ahead of his years. Just his decision making alone, I think, is brilliant. I think he's a lot like Jason Knight in a way. When you look at him, I think you could compare him to that kind of a player. I think he's just got something about him. He's gifted, and I think he's going to go a long way. But
he gets around the field an awful lot, doesn't he? He's very energetic on and off the ball. And he's a little tiger in the middle of the park,
Yeah, and look, again, it'd be a big move from Preston North End. It would be a massive move to go completely out of the country, completely out of England, all the way over to Italy, which would be something where, for me, it's a bit of a spanner in the works. But like you said, there's people there involved that he knows, which is where a link can kind of come in. So that's why I would put it more likely than 50-50. I'd put a habit with 6. There is a link there. It would be, look, I think loads of players would love to go to Italy, sunshine, different weather, different league, different culture. Who wouldn't want to try it once? I'd put that at 6. I don't think it's desperately likely going to happen, but certainly not impossible. So I put that at 6 for me.
Now, Alfie Lewis has come on the radar again. This time it's a Dundalk link, and obviously Lewis, we talked about him before. Actually, he still isn't getting game time at Plymouth, but it's been ramped up a little bit with a move to Derry and Dundalk, for example. I want to focus on Dundalk more because I think Dundalk might be looking at a midfielder as well, to be honest with you. Steve O'Donnell has obviously worked with him at St. Patrick's Athletic to good effect as well. Different central midfielder to an Adam O'Reilly. He's more a guy who will really get on the ball and look to make things tick, and is cultured. But how do you see that link to Dundalk? I mean, he seems to have surplus the requirements for a start at Plymouth, doesn't he?
Look, it fits all, it ticks every box, really. Dundalk are looking for a player. He's not playing. He knows people at the club. He knows the league. Dundalk would really do with a midfielder like him. Like, I'm sure every team in the league would take him if they could. And I say certainly the likes of Rovers, Bows, Derry, Dundalk, I would say they're all have made contact about him, even inquired for a loan. Why not? Like, a player like his calibre available. I'd put this one quite likely, Key. I would say it would happen. I'd put probably at an 8. Just with all the factors that's going on, I think it all kind of weighs up in Dundalk's favour for him to move there, and he'd slot right in. I think he'd play, and he's going to obviously a good team, good players. Yeah, I would put it quite likely put it at an 8. I don't see why really it wouldn't happen.
Finally, we have 16-year-old right back Sam Curtis, who's at St. Patrick's Day linked to a move to Feyenoord in Holland. Of course, Sam is injured at the moment, but he's played a lot of games recently for Pats, and we've seen a lot of prospects of Pats, EU prospects, move away to various actually places between England, Italy, etc., etc. So Feyenoord could be an interesting move. He's only 16, but he's already a very culture type player. How do you see that one?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting this one now to come out with me today, but that's a very interesting one, Derek. That club, can't even pronounce it. Feyenoord. I can't even pronounce it. I know who you want.
Yeah.
I would have never even thought of him coming in for a player here. Like, that's mad that teams like them are potentially looking at players here. But like you said, with his background, his ethnicity, and all that, he is kind of cultured. He's more cultured than other players for the league. I think he's done quite well for Pats this year. Like, he's 16. Like, I think it's mad the amount of games that he's played. Like, he's obviously I think he's at a good level where he is at the minute with Pats for his age, his development and all that. If he was to go out there, he'd be going back down to youth teams, 19s, 21s, what have you. So he would have to look all that up. But look, a move abroad like that, I don't think anyone would turn it down. If it was real, you couldn't turn it down, really. And hopefully Pats have him on professional contracts so they'll get money out of it, because it'd be a shame if you only got a compensation fee out of this, like bringing through all these players and going for pittance. Like, they need, if there is serious interest in them, I really hope Pats have signed him up in a professional deal with add-ons, with 10% sell-on clauses and all that. So hopefully they have, because both have reaped the benefits of this when we've sold players in the past, like other teams. So I really hope to have. Just the first I heard of this one, Key. God, this would be hard to put a number on. I'm gonna say 6. I'm gonna say 6, because look, he's playing here as is, and I'm sure he's happy, but he's 16, he's a child, he's under 18. There's a lot of other things at play here too that will kind of sway to and fro as to stay or as to go. It's very up in the air, that kind of one. But I put it at 6. Hopefully, if he does go, it all works out for him. Pats get some money for him. But yeah, good player, and obviously he's playing. I put it at 6.
Yeah, interesting stuff. Look, Daz, thanks for coming on. Guys, let us know what you think. The transfer rumours. Give us a rating if you like as well in the comments. And if you heard that in yourself on the grapevine, let us know as well. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, hit your bell notification button, and see you later.